What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your licensed real estate market expert here in Charlotte. A little bit of a different background. We are in the new house and in the new office. Apologize for the paint. Everything is getting painted this weekend, but it is time for a monthly market report for the month of January. Even though it's February, we go over the month prior, so we have an entire month of data compiled together. Now, I'll give you a little bit of glimpse of kind of the stats in regards to what's happening. New listings, we had a relatively big jump for the month of January. Pending sales stayed flatline. Average sales price has gone up year over year for the month of January, as has the median sales price. Now, before we get into the actual data and the actual numbers, I want to talk about what I'm personally seeing in the market and what I've been seeing since the start of January. So as of right now, under $400,000 in regards to single family homes is having a really tough time. So my guess is under $400,000, if you're in this range, it tends to be people most affected by the interest rates. We've had some relief in the interest rates, but again, it all varies on down payment, credit score, and things like that. So a lot of people are affected by the interest rates under that $400,000 price range. So we're seeing a lot of houses sit a lot longer within that under $400,000 price point. Now, what I've noticed is kind of the sweet spot right now for a single family home is between $400 to $450. If you're within that price range, you can find a nice move-in ready home in a good neighborhood, in a good location. 3-4 bedroom, 1,500 plus square feet or so. Some of the houses you might need to do some minor things like paint and flooring, changing fixtures. But that right now is what I'm seeing is kind of the sweet spot in regards to some single family homes in Charlotte and the surrounding areas of Charlotte. Now, I've seen two multiple offers personally for some of my clients. One of them was a house listed at $425. And it was perfect. Move-in ready, 100% updated, located at the end of a cul-de-sac, big backyard. It checked every box for what a lot of people are looking for, and I'm very curious to see what that ends up at closing. Now, the second house that I saw was listed at $850,000 in and around near the South Park location, and that one had multiple offers after 1 day on the neighborhood. Now, keeping along that kind of same topic on multiple offers, they are still happening in our market. In the last 30 days, we've had 41 houses have multiple offers. And these are ranging in all different price ranges, all the way up to a house here in Charlotte that was listed at $2.85 million, and they ended up having multiple offers. So they're still happening, and they tend to happen with the homes that are priced correctly, that are priced aggressively, and that are move-in ready. Now, two more things that I want to touch on before we jump into the numbers. And again, if you guys have any questions or about neighborhoods, subdivisions, zip codes, anything like that real estate related, you can always call, text, or email me anytime. So the economist for the National Association of Realtors recently came out with an article specific to North Carolina and talking about the housing gap in regards to affordable housing and in housing in general. It's no secret our inventory has been super low for going on 10 years now. Believe it or not, prior to 2020, we still had relatively low inventory. That's why I mention all the time that right now the market, how flat it feels, reminds me of the same market that we had in 2017, 18, and 19 prior to 2020. Now, what's interesting and unfortunately sad is they really don't have any good news. If you guys have seen the article, Charlotte is projected to double its population by the year 2050. That is going to continue to put strain on the housing. It's going to continue to put strain on the supply. However, I do think we will see some changes that might be for the better, but looking at long term, looking at the broad picture, it's going to be an ongoing issue for us here in Charlotte and all of North Carolina. So in this article, it says for us to shorten the housing gap in affordable housing and housing in general, we need 322,000 rental units and 442,000 for sale units by 2029 in all of North Carolina. This is not Charlotte specific. And if they are able to accomplish that, we could generate $489 billion in economic activity and 2.2 million jobs added to North Carolina. Now, the funny thing about this is obviously every single month it seems like interesting things are happening, and especially now that we're in the new year. And I want to talk about tariffs. Tariffs have been all over the news, how things are going to be affected. But what I will say is if the tariffs and everything like that continue to go through, our housing market will be affected as well. We get a lot of our lumber from Canada, and as you guys know, there's planning to be tariffs on Canada, which would affect new construction in the entire US. Now, with that being said, we do have our own lumber here in the Pacific Northwest. But with that, if the demand picks up so much and they're having to make more lumber, naturally the prices are just going to get higher and higher. New construction right now, for the most part, is still moving, but is still relatively flat, just like the resale homes that we have here. I've seen a lot of communities take away certain incentives that they were offering 3 to 5 months ago. However, a lot of them are still offering some down payment assistance and things like that. But if these tariffs go through, we could be in for some interesting things happening in regards to new construction prices. So just keep your eye on that, and I will always keep you guys informed if I'm starting to see new construction price increases and or jumps from the normal. Now let's hop into the stats, starting with the new listings. In the month of January, we had just over 4,000 new listings, and that's an 11.3% increase from this time last year, and it's almost 1,500 more new listings than we had in the month of December. If you guys are watching my channel, if you're subscribed, you knew that we already knew this. We already knew January would see a big jump, and as the weather starts to break, as we head into the springtime, we're going to see the new listings jump even higher. Now, what's interesting is that the pending sales remained relatively flat. Pending sales came in at 3,320, and that is a 0% increase from this time last year. And this is a very accurate representation of the housing market. If you guys look at the graphs that we have that we're gonna go over, you're gonna see the market is just kind of flatlining, and the only changes we're seeing is due to seasonality. Spring, summer, more houses get listed, more buyers come off the sideline. September, October starts to roll around, new listings tend to go down. Buyers tend to get out of the pool due to the holidays and the travel. But this past year in 2024, we saw a slight change. There was way more buyers in the market looking to buy houses September, October, November, and December because they were trying to take advantage of getting the best pricing possible. Now, we are probably going to be within the same prices that we were last year, but depending on how things go with the tariffs and interest rates, they could go higher, or we could be slightly below the average pricing and the median pricing that we saw last spring and last summer. Now, before we get into the pricing, let's go over days on market, which came in at 57, and that is a 35.7% increase from this time last year. And if you guys take a look at the graph, we had a 100% increase in 2023, a minus 8.7% decrease in 24, and now we're up 35.7%, which is a huge jump. And like I said, a lot of the houses under 400,000 are sitting a lot longer, and you still are having the multiple offers. However, it's nowhere near the amount of multiple offers that we had in 2020, 21, 22, and 23. Now, in regards to average sales price came in at $491,000. That's a 9.1% increase from this time last year. Now, again, we are down from our all-time highs. We're about $30,000 down from our all-time highs of $522,000 being the average sales price. So you can still find good houses, you can still find good deals. It's becoming a lot more common nowadays because with average days on market being high, it's putting more pressure on the prices to come down. However, it's not putting a significant amount of pressure to where a seller is saying, hey, drop the house by $50,000, by $75,000. Let's get this house moved. Let's get into multiple offers. A lot of sellers are still choosing to price their house at the highest possible peak And with that, the houses tend to sit longer until they get more in line with the comparable sales and what's been happening with the market lately. Median sales price came in at $385,000, and that is a 2.7% increase from this last year. But if you recall, the median sales price is staying very steady. The last 2 months, the median sales price came in at $385,000, and then the third month prior, it came in at $390,000. We are down $21,000 from our all-time high of $406,000, but the median sales price gives you a really good idea of the stability of the market. And because it's staying relatively flat and staying at that 385 price point, just under 400, it tells us that the market is still going really strong. Is it out of the realm of possibility for us to see a decline in the median sales price, go down to 360, 350? No, it all depends on all these different economic factors that we see changing daily and weekly. So it's good to keep your eye on the median sales price because it gives us a better understanding of where we sit in the market. Now, in regards to negotiating prices that are on the market, we're talking about percentage of the original list price received, which came in at 95.4. That's a minus 1% decline from this time last year. So what this stat is telling you is on average, you can expect to pay 4.6% below the listed price of a home when it is closed. And guys, the last time that we saw the percentage of the original list price received this low was back in 2016. So people are negotiating essentially the same amount off of the listed price of a home that we were back in 2016. This is a big deal because it's telling you that, hey, if this house is listed at $475,000, if it happens to sit, you can expect to pay lower than that. And obviously with the market changing, a lot more negotiating is happening during your inspection period. Negotiating repairs, negotiating concessions and things like that all have a lot to do with your final price point, because at the end of the day, if you get $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 off of a house, but the house needs $30,000 worth of work, you still are coming out of pocket. So with you being able to get a lower price point when you're buying your house and negotiate concessions is a very big deal. Next up, month's supply of inventory, which came in at 2.3, and that is a 27.8% increase from this time last year. We had the big spike in new listings with the average days on market getting longer. These houses are sitting more and we're starting to build more inventory as we go. The highest inventory we've had in the last 5 years now was 2.9 months of inventory, and we're currently at 2.3. I think this year we will finally hit above 3 months of inventory. So to make sure you better understand this, under 3 months of inventory is still considered a seller's market. 3 to 4 to 5 months is considered a neutral market. And when you have 6+ months of inventory, that is a full-blown buyer's market. That's when you're offering $25,000, $50,000 plus under the asking prices of houses. You're still negotiating concessions on top of that, and you're getting the best possible deal. Will we ever get to 6+ months of inventory? I don't know. I don't know, and I don't think so. But I do think that this year we will break 3 months of inventory, which is going to be a win. If we continue to see the days on market go up, it's going to put more pressure on the prices to go down. But interest rates matter. A lot of people, unfortunately, are making decisions based off of interest rates, which makes sense because you don't want to overstretch your budget and put yourself in a bad situation. But due to that, if the rates drop by 0.5% or something like that, a lot more people would enter into the market, and there is a possibility of a lot more multiple offers happening. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, call, text, or email me any questions, or if there's anything I can ever do for you. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.